means everything. It's completely changed my life.
And when you see this man's life and what he's accomplished as a family man in the community, the amount of money he gives, it's a real thing.
He's a great husband, father, leader, a great friend of mine.
Great family man and really serving other people, and I really respect that and look up to it and think, wow, just how far he's come.
He's a big giver, and he always puts people before himself.
And it's so great to see how much he gives back now to all the people that he cares about serving and stuff.
Honestly, watching everything, I was like taking notes, and I'm like, I want to sign up. Like, I'm ready to go.
It was amazing. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
For anyone that is watching, paying attention, whatever, when you look at someone's life globally like that, go follow him.
Did you know there are 6 tenets that make a world-class deal maker? Mark Evans is the guy that everybody comes to when they need a life-changing deal done. The only problem is, over the years, he's gotten so many requests, he decided to make a documentary, to take a year of his life to film and open up his playbook through 6 tell-all chapters that'll unlock the power of how to make life-changing deals for you and for your family. So whether you're making deals in tech or finance or real estate, or in your marriage, or with your kids, or just with yourself, you're gonna go behind the scenes of a no BS private room of about 50 deal makers or so, who are responsible for not only billions in transactions, but they live a very unique ethos. So pay close attention. These 6 deal maker secrets have the power to change the game for you, your family, and for your legacy. So my friend, welcome to this short film, and welcome to the Dealmaker Family documentary.
I could take over the world, to be honest with you. With guys like Mark, the guys that's in the DM family, I really feel like anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
He's truly like one of my best examples. He's taught me significance of really investing in relationships and truly caring about people.
They can call me whenever, like, hey, I just made $1 million today. It's like, why did you make 5?
Chapter 1, Dealmaker versus Troublemaker. So if you go back to when Mark was a kid, he liked to do things like every other kid does, but he was less concerned about toys or bikes or things that a young person might be interested in, because Mark, he was a kid who wanted to be rich.
Just growing up in a small town, it's cool, but the thing is the parents are getting the call from the neighbors before you even do it. It's so small, right? This is the main street we're getting ready to get on, so be careful, don't blink, because you might miss it. We have no stoplights and no cops. This is actually, it's a township. This isn't even like a city, right? It's just a little township. 10, 12 years old, whatever. asking myself how to make money. It's interesting, I marked out business and put money instead. I just wanted to make money. Obviously a kid not trying to make a business, just create money ideas. It started getting serious, obviously. So it's like bake shop stuff, right? Because I'd always ask myself, how much did things cost? These are old. This is 1991.
Not all stories begin with glorious skyscrapers or shiny business ideas on the first try. So while the neighboring kids' parents would complain about their kids' minds being in the gutter, Mark was pushing all of his hopes and dreams literally into the gutter with his very first business.
Truth is, I never wanted to go to bed because I was afraid to like lose traction and I couldn't wait to get up.
Especially when you were doing gutters and roofs with the owners, driving nice cars.
Yeah. I'm sitting there doing all the manual labor for these guys pulling up in a Porsche smoking cigars. Like, yo, man, you got another job for you? Down the street, I just bought this house. I'm like, dude, I want to be driving a Porsche smoking a cigar.
If he put his mind to it, he did it. He didn't care what it was or what it would take.
Like the gutter company, that's a cool story because like that was Larry down the street. He got in a bad car wreck. You know, I stopped by and acted like my uncle wanted to buy it because I'm like, he's not gonna sell it to a kid. And then I ended up buying it, put $1,000 down, and he financed me $24,000 for 5 years. Just a small town kid, you know, trying to make more money.
Mark's dad stepped in and gave him a little space to start getting his affairs in order. It wasn't much, but it was enough for him to understand just the ins and outs of just following the deal maker way, of making deals, of understanding how deals work, versus being like some of the other kids in the neighborhood who were just about being a troublemaker. His dad and his experience was the first moment of what it meant to actually make a deal, to make deals. And that's when he realized that the key and the path to freedom was deals.
You know, a lot of people are afraid to make moves because they're afraid of the unknown, right? I was so afraid of the known. I already knew what I knew, and I didn't want it. You know, that scared me. So I was like, I have to learn new information. I have to, you know, find people that can teach me stuff. You know, my mom and dad, like I said earlier, are like absolutely amazing people, but they're not trying to grow. They're trying to survive. These are two totally different action sets. That was probably what, 2 years. Like this was my office for 2 years over here. Looks a little different now, but come out here. That's like same carpet. This is where it started. But this used to be the office where we'd bid the jobs, create the invoices. What else are we doing here, Dad? Just kind of hide from Mom. Yeah, here's some old signs, the siding and windows, and I wasn't sitting in an office all day. I was in here. We were fixing the machine. It would be broken. We had stuff everywhere, coil stock because we did gutters, right? You have aluminum everywhere.
He was doing all he could to push and make his first enterprise a success.
My dad, he's kind of like my buddy, you know? Yeah. So he's kind of cool. You know, we say goofy stuff around each other, and, you know, obviously my mom's always offended by our talks. Even as kids, she's like, you guys are disgusting, you know? Again, we're not trying to be disgusting, we're just being silly, you know, being boys, guys. Dude, I wish more people had it. I wish more people, like I said, I've always been very blessed with my dad and my mom. But like, you know, guy to guy, it's always like a cool thing, you know? That's how I want to be with my son. I want to be his buddy, but I also want to be his mentor. I'm not trying to be just his dad, but there are dad moments. You got to be dads too, you know? So like, you know, Father's Day was recent, and I'm sitting here thinking like, dude, there's a lot of kids that don't have dads in their life, you know, and that's sad to me. You know, I think a lot of times we're looking for that one aha. I think it's like a combination of it. The biggest moment was October 8th when my grandmother passed. So I was like, oh my God, there's more to life. You know, it was a very unexpected situation, and then boom, you know, it just hit me.
While things were kind of working, his world completely shifted on a dime. His grandmother sadly and suddenly passed away, and something deep changed inside of him.
I was like, I got to do bigger. I got to do smart. I got to be smarter about how I'm going at this. And I already had some money kind of rolling in companies and all that, but I didn't have a business. I had a job. But again, I always thought I was right. You know, I thought I was right every day because I was the boss. And that's the shift. I became a leader, not a boss. I realized I don't like telling people what to do. I want to inspire people on how we can do it better, and they can give me feedback and I can become better.
This was his first experience brushing up against the reality of death. And it forced him to graduate early from the role of just being a boss who just wants to go and control people into evolving his paradigm into just being a leader. Someone to impact and inspire others. While the passing of his grandmother broke his heart, it actually broke his heart into being a better leader.
Deal maker means the deal maker of your life, right? So what do you stand for? If you make a deal with yourself, stick to it and see it through. What does the DM stand for? Deal maker. You're always conscious of wanting to help other people at all levels, not just in business. Deal making in your life, deal making in your business, deal making in relationships, deal making with all. I mean, it never ends. The world needs us. Do you guys agree the world needs us right now? Entrepreneurs? Yeah?
Man, I feel like I could take over the world, to be honest with you. Just again, with the resources, with guys like Mark, the guys that's in the DM family, I really feel like anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
You know, deal maker to me just sounded like a fit. You know, Mark Evans DM, you know, maybe I was trying to be a doctor or something, who knows. But really what it is, it's evolved. And it's not evolved just because of me, but like everyone partaking in it, participating in it, and expanding from it. It's neat to see the guys that are growing and all that, but the truth is, I'm not taking credit for any of their work. I want me to help them with my knowledge that I have. They take that knowledge and lay it down to the people they're working with. I want us to make a ripple effect impact.
I connected with a guy here at the event. He's been in the family for maybe, I think, about a year. And we just got started talking, and he's come across a new strategy. And this looks like it could be a massive fit for multiple deals in my portfolio. And like easily, just this year could add $3 to $4 million to my bottom line. Just by that one conversation connection with that guy. And if I hadn't been here, probably wouldn't have happened. And that has happened at every single event, something like that, where I've made a connection, sparked something. You're connecting with people that are making moves. Like, you don't get that in regular life. Like, you don't get that in just your community, having a beer on the pool or whatever you're doing. You only get that where you're connected with guys that have been doing the work for 15, 20 years. They're making big things happen.
Here's the thing is, one thing I found about successful people. They don't feel like they've done anything, and they know their flaws, and they're always trying to improve. People that are not so successful financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, is they feel like they've done everything. It's all on my shoulders. I'm the hardest worker in the world. Everyone owes me something. I deserve this. I deserve that. It's the mentality, you know, that we're talking about. Is I feel like I haven't done anything, you know, financially, physically. I want to be constantly improving.
Chapter 2, Lifestyle versus No Style. What's so wild is that if Mark would have been okay with having no style, he would have been stuck in this 650-person small town.
The thing is, it's kind of like a fish. You only get the size of the tank, right? And there's 650 people in this town, so I felt like I was in a fish bowl, and I'm trying to be a shark, 12, you know, great white. And the biggest you can get is become like maybe a little bluegill, you know. So, and that's not knocking the town. It's just like that's just the way it is, you know. Not to say you can't be huge here. It's just this is not inspiring to me. It was inspiring to leave, not inspiring to be.
The choice was simple. He could have had no style, but now he's able to give others the lifestyle as well. He's now putting on conferences to 650 members of his programs, and he takes his inner circle members into masterminds to the Isle of Murata in Florida.
Josh Zagłowski from Morgan, Utah, Mountain Green, Utah. Got a beautiful wife, Taryn. Got 4 kids, Gunnar, Garen, Grace, and Hope. I've been in commercial real estate for 7, 8 years, a lot of triple net, shopping centers, medical buildings, dental buildings. What I liked about this DM family mastermind for me was I was kind of looking for something that didn't have a lot of real estate stuff. What's helped me financially is, I started a company called ERC Specialists, and I remember talking to Mark about it when I first started it, and he was very open about, hey, talk to the group about it. I think this would be something that'd be big, and it ended up being not just big, it ended up being huge. I appreciated everyone's trust in me, and with that, I've always wanted to get to know what their business is and how can I help their business. When you build that relationship capital, good things happen. And that's definitely something I've learned with the DM family.
Business is pretty easy. It's just a math formula. Just like making pasta, you have a formula to how you make your pasta, how you make your pizza, how you make your breakfast. Like, they're formulas. We as humans complicate everything. Like, all three of us could have the same exact recipe to bake a cake. They all three turn out different, I promise. Business is very simple. The truth is, like, if we have a huge win or a huge loss, we're not celebrating, or we're just dealing with it and moving. It's not like, oh gosh, I did such a great job, I'm just gonna hang out for the next 5 days. It's like, dude, if I can do that, what if I really put more effort? What if I get more streamlined? What if we, how do we do this bigger? How do we do this more, more efficient? How do we make a bigger impact? That's what we're really trying to do, is impact,
See, lifestyle is about the time to enjoy the relationships that you care about most. It's important to have a mission in life, yes. It's important to be successful, yes. It's important to build life-changing, impact-driven businesses, yes. But you can't do all that when you're sacrificing the people that are the most closest to you, the most important to you, your wife, your husband, your children.
Oh man, getting robbed, being beat by a 7-year-old. On the street, he found it.
I mean, his level of, success and why he is where he is because it's like 100. You have to be 100%. Everybody's got to be the best because, he puts forth all of himself, so he expects that for everybody else.
Mark, what's the 8th wonder of the world?
Compounding interest.
What's ROI mean?
Return on investment.
What's P&L mean?
Profit and loss.
Oh yeah. What is the biggest, best asset in the world that you have?
Name.
Why is your name your biggest asset?
Because it would you tell everyone what's your name.
Yep, it's the number one thing, and if your name doesn't mean anything, you have nothing, right? School to me was always a system. It was a process. Like, they just stick you in the system, and whatever spits out, good or bad, it spits out. So I'm like, I want to give our kids the best advantage in life by giving them the tools to equip them to do the things they want to do. It's not about us. We're not like teaching our agenda and things like that. I mean, they're following a curriculum, and we have a professional helping guide that journey to make sure they get the best of all of that. But for us as a dividing, like, it's priorities. We're very priority driven.
The Dealmaker's way is through expansion. Mark is building and leading conferences that attract people from, someone who's just starting out to big industry names. Every person on stage at his conferences are vetted, established. They're leaders who demonstrate mastery in their niche. Totally and passionately committed to serving. Guys like Matt or Maurice or Nate and so many more, including our friend Sean Whalen.
How many of y'all want a huge multi-million-dollar nugget right out of the gates? Copy what works. Copy Mark Evans. Copy what this guy is doing, and you will win. I think me and Mark met probably 5 years ago.
Oh, that long?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Give or take, five or so years ago.
Gotcha.
He slid up in the DMs, no pun intended. Either that or I did, we don't know. We still don't know who did. I don't think either of us have the patience to go back and look through all of our messages to see who the first person was that slid up in the DMs. Mark's one of the realest dudes you'll meet. Like, Mark genuinely, he doesn't need anything from anybody. He doesn't need anything from me, you know, and he's just constantly adding value. He's truly like one of my best examples. You know, he's taught me significance of really investing in relationships and truly caring about people. Like, there's no ulterior motive. I don't need anything from you. I'm not trying to get something and rope you in, but he truly cares about people, and he gives so much time and energy and effort, not just to other people, but to me. And it's been our friendship, our relationship has become invaluable to me.
It's a neat place to be in life where I get to wake up and work with my best friends every day. The guys inspire me, the gals, they're seeing them hang out with their kids, being able to spend more time with their family, become better husbands, better leaders, better mentors, better, you know, at their church, at their schools, at their community. They pressure me to do big stuff. I pressure them. Like, we're winning, and we can help other people win along the way. Guys, literally, they can call me whenever. I can call them whenever. More importantly, they'll actually answer, and I'll answer. That's a big difference. Like, hey, I just made $1 million a day. And then the guy on the other phone, i.e. me, is like, why didn't you make 5? What held you back? You know, you told me you were gonna make 5, you only made $1 million. You can't go sit down at the local VFW and tell them you made $1 million, because they're gonna be like, dude, you're rich. You know? So now it's gonna mess with your brain thinking you're doing something big, even though you're 20% of the goal of what you set out to do. So they're borrowing my belief system to execute in their life to get the results they want. And it's never about the thing. It's about the unlocking of the brain, right?
Chapter 3, Focus versus Distraction.
We all get pulled in for different day-to-day things that are, you know, whether it's family or the businesses that we're trying to run, and then we kind of look past it like, what else could we do? We all realize like the only thing in the way is us.
I've always believed in learning from people that are in a position that you want to be in. Why not copy and paste something versus trying to recreate the entire system?
The big difference between those with lifestyle and no style is focus. What are you focused on? What are your priorities, and are you committed to them? Or do you let fun events, TV shows, lesser important things get in the way?
There's no one in the DM community that hasn't missed family reunions, hasn't missed, you know, big events with their buddies that are going to the next sporting event, you know, because we have to work. We have bigger dreams than dealing with the next winner of a baseball game or football game. Make you a priority, not the sports a priority, not these things that are not priorities that mean nothing. Dude, no one's coming to your grave and saying, wow, this person knew everything about so-and-so. They don't care. They're gonna talk about what you've made an impact in. And they're gonna talk about whose lives you've changed and what you're up to and what you've done for yourself and what you've done for others.
There's a problem, he's got a solution. We're not gonna like ponder on the problem, solve it, move on to the next thing. Always in a great mood. I mean, he could be on the phone with a lawyer fighting a lawsuit and walk out of his office and he's like, hey guys, you know, it's me and the kids, and you would have no clue.
The success does leave clues. You know, everyone's sitting there trying to figure it out. You know, you gotta find someone doing what you wanna do and ask them for advice. And in my experience, they wanna help them. The problem is most people are asking people for advice that are not where they wanna be. So they're gonna give you different type of advice. They're gonna say, no, you can't do it. Just, you know, be grateful for what you have. We have one life. I wrote a book called Magician vs. Mule, and I talk about thought auditing. Okay, I'm living this life every day, but what am I thinking about? Where do these thoughts come from? So like they're living, now I'm living, but I'm also thinking about how to live differently, live bigger, live better, just different. Like, where did these thoughts come from? My grandpa was working, 3, 4, 5 jobs, never home, only 2 days a week. He got to hang out. He was hanging out every day. You know, so because he was working smarter, just different.
Are you working smarter, where you're focused and you're on point and you're producing results that people are in awe of, like the magician that he writes about in his book? Or are you being the hardworking mule, doing all the lifting by yourself, not trusting anybody but you, unable to grow, so focused on hard work that you are totally dropping the smart work?
You got to brainwash your brain. You know, the truth is everyone thinks it's more learning. It's a lot of unlearning you got to do. You know, I grew up kind of the way we grew up, right? Like, it is what it is. My life does not look like this financially. It's different, massively different. It's not bad or good, it's just a different life. So, but I had to unwind all the stories I was seeing and taught. Like, if you drive a nice car, you're a bad person. How do we know? We don't even know. If you have a big house, who'd you screw to get that house? You know, like, these are like gut reaction things that were, you know, like my whole life around uncles and family. Like, this is it was like not a big deal. It was normal talk. So I had to unlearn that because I wanted those things.
It's actually really heartening, and he loved it, but Mark's small town mindset was a distraction, kept him small. To make sure to stay focused on his goals, he knew that he needed to be around a different environment to push him. Mark worked hard to confront or unlearn the mindset that got in his way. Distraction can take on another form. A lot of times you will not even realize how distracted you are. And this is one of the great things about being part of the DM family. You kind of look in the mirror and say, I got some shit to change up here.
I remember going to the first conference that we went to, and all the guys got up and we drew out our business models. And it was like, you know, draw like whose name is in whose position, you know, COO, CEO, you know, assistant, project manager. And all the guys went around the room and drew all their, you know, names and everything on there. And then I walked up to the front of the room and did one big circle and wrote Austin Rutherford in it. It's kind of like an aha moment for me. You know, I was doing okay, you know, making, you know, decent money, but it was just me. I was working 16 hours a day, you know, literally every day of the week. And just seeing that you can actually like outsource something was a big eye opener for me. It's really allowed me to be able to scale and get out of my limiting beliefs of, you know, having to pay somebody else versus seeing that as an investment.
When Austin was able to see his limiting belief around having to pay someone versus it being an investment, he was able to grow exponentially.
I was probably flipping 10 to 20 houses a year because, again, it was all me. I was running materials, I was running paperwork, I was making phone calls, I was doing offers, like I was doing everything. After connecting with him, actually starting to hire a team, you know, project managers, assistants, acquisitions teams, cold callers. You know, our biggest year, we probably flipped wholesale or, you know, bought rentals, maybe 100 deals in a year. Definitely grew. You know, every year, you know, over the last 7 years since I've been in business has grown financially. That's been huge.
You see, one of the greatest superpowers is the ability to maintain focus. By staying focused, Mark was able to go from someone who had no silver spoon in his mouth, really a nobody, and build his way out of his small town and build into a bigger world, grow the Dealmaker empire, thereby creating a ripple effect. So guys like Austin could have a ripple effect in his family, in his extended family, in his business, in his market. This is the singular goal of Mark the Dealmaker.
Tiger Woods, he's golfing. He doesn't need a coach to change his golf game. He needs a coach to tweak his golf game and to make him a better player. I hope they outgrow me. You know, that's the best thing in the world. And with that mentality, we typically grow together. You know, it's not like, oh man, I got to keep them just below me so they have to keep paying me and this and that. It's like, no, dude, I want you to grow bigger. We all have different goals. Maybe they want to be a 10 billionaire guy and I only want to be a $1 billion guy. There's no right or wrong to this. Maybe you want to be a 100 millionaire person. Maybe someone wants to be a 10 millionaire person or a millionaire even. Everyone can fit in this picture that I just shared with you.
How you feel about your mentor is not as important as if you believe that they will guide you to greatness.
They got me out of my comfort zone. I hated my football coach because he's like, you got to run this lap. You can run faster. You can do this better. You can I'm like, no, I can't. I'm all tapped out. And then you do it. It gives you confidence. You know, this is how you gain confidence is through, you know, pushing yourself to new limits. And there's failure inside of that too. But there's failure knowing that you reset. And ideally just pushing up the thermostat or pulling it down a little bit more every day. So, you know, I want you to succeed. It's like us being outside in the sun. You getting a lot of sunlight doesn't mean I can get a lot of sunlight. We both can get a lot. You know, so success breeds success if you're with the right people. And if you're hanging out with people, you know, my buddy Tim always calls it the crab mentality. When you're trying to get out of the thing, they're like literally pulling you down every time you're trying to get out and escape. Because if you stay in that cage, you're donezo, right? And they literally will pull off each other's limbs, you know, to keep you in there and isolated. So, you know, you got to do that. And oftentimes it's family, people that you love the most. And, you know, you love them so much, you got to let them go.
For me, a deal maker is somebody that focuses on the impact. Impact is more important than profit. When you impact a person's life, you're a true deal maker. And by impacting somebody's life, the money will come.
Our relationship with anyone in life is what we choose. Even how we interpret things that occur on a daily basis can massively impact our sphere of influence. The smallest shift from things do not happen to you, they happen for you, is an important distinction inside of the deal maker philosophy.
Don't think we're not all afraid. I'm afraid as I scale. I'm afraid as we grow businesses. I'm afraid as we deal with situations. They're definitely afraid as well. We're all afraid. We're all afraid. The question truly at the end of the day is, what do you do when you're afraid? Do you shut down, make excuses, complain, don't do anything with it? Or do you find great mentors, great people to help you, guide you through the journey, expedite you through hell, you know, in the process of whatever you're going through, and get results? The only way to lose the game we're talking about here is you quitting.
Chapter 4, Impact versus Victim.
Stop making fucking excuses. You said the same thing when you had a dog. You said the same thing when you had 3 jobs. You said the same thing when you're sitting at home on your mom and dad's couch. When does the excuses stop? If it becomes a priority and you want something to do with it, you go make it happen. It's never convenient. It's not going to be easy. Who said it was? We don't make excuses. We execute. It sucks. And then not only that, do you even really want it? If you really want it, you're going to find a way to get it. And it's the same people saying, oh, I have kids and this and that. He knows I'm getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. I got my thing in the morning, she's got her thing in the morning, and afternoon, boom, boom, boom. The parents that are sitting there making excuses, when do the excuses stop? Stop taking vacations. Start working at 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock to midnight when they go to bed. I know it sucks, but guess what? That's what it has to take. When are you going to stop making excuses? If I believe I can accomplish something, there's no excuse that's going to get in the path of accomplishing something. And I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, Mark, it's easy for you to say you got all this money, you got all this help. You know what? You're looking at fast forward 26 years later. You saw earlier, I didn't come from money. I had to work my ass off to get to where I'm at today. I'm sitting here with 2 amazing kids and an amazing wife and an amazing life. Why? Because we put it together.
All too many people can relate to the fallout of the 2008 real estate market. Whether you were a kid being evicted from your family's house or a multi-unit investor losing everything, there were more than enough excuses for failure to go around.
This was a very bad day. The National Association of Realtors reported the worst month-to-month drop in existing home sales since they started keeping track in the late 90s. And compared to last year, closings are down more than 25%.
And this takes us to Tim Bratt, a member of the DM family, who's an example of someone who did not become a victim in this very real circumstance of the real estate market collapse.
When I was going through college, like 03 to 07, the real estate market was going crazy. And everybody's like, if you want to make money, get involved in real estate. When I graduated from college in 07, and I thought you got involved in real estate by becoming a real estate agent. So I got my real estate license. And in October of 2008, the entire market collapsed. I had shown up to the party, knocked on the front door, opened it up, and everybody's running out the back door saying, run from real estate, get out of this industry.
You see, rather than seeing the collapse of an industry, Tim saw the opportunity, an opportunity of a lifetime.
Property values started dropping and things started popping up on the MLS. I didn't have any money. I was a 23-year-old kid at that time, and nobody was gonna lend me money. I didn't have anybody who would invest money with me, and I just pulled out my credit card, And I called up MasterCard and I was like, I need you to increase my limit. They increased my credit limit to $15,000. I had asked for 100. I think I went $100,000. And they said, absolutely not. But they gave me 15 grand. And with that $15,000, I found the cheapest house on the MLS, which was 25 grand. And I made an offer at 12. They came back at 20. I came up to 14, which was my maximum allowable offer. And they accepted it. I did the carpet, I did the paint, I did the fixtures, I did the landscaping, and then I bought some of these yellow bandit signs and I stuck them all around the road, and I held an open house, and one of the neighbors came in and bought that property that I was all into for about $19,000, and they brought it for 33 grand. I remember thinking, like, the sky is falling in the real estate industry, and yet I just made the biggest check of my entire life.
This launched Tim into creating a great success. And even so, he was struggling with how to grow it bigger without doing all the work.
I'm personally managing my entire business. I'm personally doing everything on those deals. And I was like, I've seen these people with these big businesses, and I'm like, how the hell do I go from here as a solo act to get to that next level? I couldn't figure it out.
A chance phone call from Mark about a group of properties Tim was selling happened.
Mark inquires through Craigslist, and he actually shoots me a message, hey man, can we hop on a phone call? It's like the afternoon in Eastern time, and I didn't know where he was at the time, but as I'm talking to him, he's like, yeah, I'm interested, what do the numbers look like? We're going back and forth a little bit, blah, 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 blah. And he showed genuine interest in some stranger that he'd never talked to before, right? And we talked for, it was a while. It was probably 30, 45 minutes or something. And he goes, hang on a second, I gotta take a shot. And I was like, dude, what are you drinking right now? He's like, no, I'm on the golf course. I'm actually out in Hawaii, and just got married a couple weeks ago, and I've been out here for about 3 weeks. We're heading out to Bora Bora next week, and we're gonna spend another 3-4 weeks out there, and then, I don't know, I might hit some other stuff up. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You can go away from your business for 6 to 8 weeks at a time and it's still operating? Like, you're either like completely full of crap, or you know something that I need to get my hands on, like some information that I need to understand and I need to get my hands on.
Tim ends up asking Mark for advice on really just how he can achieve this type of freedom.
He tells me I gotta hire somebody for $36,000. I need to join the DM fam for another $30,000. It's $66,000. It's more than half of what I made the previous year.
Tim ended up joining the DM family. Everything and everyone around his life has been positively impacted.
You know, it's funny, when you're looking back at your life, there's certain things, and if that one thing didn't happen, where could I be? And when I look back at my life, one of those things is taking that phone call from Mark Evans and agreeing to come out to Mastermind in February 2015. I hired an assistant, took action, hired an assistant by March 1st, and the next 10 months, I made 3 times as much money in those 10 months than I made the entire year previously. And I correlate that directly to the insights gained from these masterminds.
I heard mastermind, no clue what that meant. I just thought it was a made-up word to have an excuse to get together and just
Did you
party.
think we talked about business at all?
I assumed you guys chatted about business because that's kind of like just what you guys talk about. When I started meeting some of the people that you were associating with, like Mark, I realized, oh, this is the thing.
It allowed me to make more money, build a better lifestyle, bring home my wife from having to work a full-time job, and be able to spend more time with the family. That's what it's all about. There's no shortcut to success other than being in a mastermind, right? Other than being in these rooms. That is how you consolidate the timeline in order to reach the next level and the next level and the level after that.
I believe people that are on the path of greatness and growing have the most resistance because you're aware of it. That's why you're getting resistance. The universe is saying, Does Mark Evans believe his own bullshit? Is he really going to get up with missing 2 teeth being kicked in the face? He just got his knees taken out from under him. This guy just ripped them off. This guy just stole from him. This person just, took his clients and blah, 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 blah. I look at that in a moment and I get very calm and say, thank you. This is happening for me, not to me. Now what am I going to do with it? I can control my emotions. I can control my actions. And most importantly, I can control my destiny because I'm in charge.
One of the consistent stories within the DM family is when someone's light switch is turned on, everything starts happening in multiples, leveling up 3 to 5 to 7 to even 8 times the size they were in previous years.
Getting around people doing way bigger stuff than you, you don't want to be in a group of 5 guys and they're all talking about getting a quarter raise and you make 50 cents and now you're the king of them all.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, we're all still broke. We're at Applebee's half off. We need to be at the steakhouse.
Chapter 5, cash flow versus no flow.
Most people they want to hear the answer, but they don't want to hear the answer, right? So but when they do, and you see it flip, this light switch, it's game over. It's another world. It's neat just to see them just evolve out of the next level. They got 1 or 2 streams. They come here for a year or 2, and now they got 7, 8, 10 streams of income. It's pretty cool. Gives you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more focus.
Most people are not able to objectively evaluate themselves in the environment they are in every day. It's nearly impossible to make quantum jumps forward on your own. You see, the DM environment is a fertile ground for growth. You are in the space of giants who are leaning in, taking risks, and connecting with people who are living the life of their dreams.
What's going on, guys? I'm Terry Summers, the owner of the Ohio Home Company. Been in real estate for the last 10 years. I think the first time I heard Mark Evans' name was like in 2015. And he was Mr. Columbus. I mean, this dude was legend of lore or something like that. I remember I didn't understand this whole work from your laptop, this whole virtual thing. I'm like, how is this guy doing this amount of deals, and he's not even there? When I had an opportunity to go to an event or seminar, I just jumped at it, And now it's crazy just to look, 4 or 5 years later and be like I can't afford to not pay for this.
Terry could not even imagine the business and life that would be accessible to him after becoming a deal maker.
As I'm working in the fitness industry, I have this side thing in real estate going on too. I'm like, how can I make enough money in this real estate thing passively to where it replaces what I'm doing actively over here in the fitness industry? Once I can get 30, 35 houses, I can replace my income from this real estate thing. I mean, one house after the next, and learn how to creatively finance these real estate deals. It took 4 years, but 4 years of buying houses, and I was able to, leave the corporate thing, really just create my own company. Because and one of the things is I'd never worked for a company that I felt proud to work for, and I wanted to create a company that I was proud to be a part of, I was proud to put my name on, and other people were proud to put their name on. We got some deals? Yeah? Talking about what we got. I was building a business with no exit plan, with no strategy to get out of the business. So one of the things I learned just from that call is you want to build a business, but anytime you get into an investment, get into a business, you got to figure out, how am I going to get back out of this deal? How am I going to get back out of the business? The place called Thurman's, because it's Thurman right here. It's Thurman Cafe. It's literally our most iconic restaurant. To this day, we still do our Father's Day and birthdays there. And what's crazy is now I own one of the largest office buildings right by Thurman's and all these beautiful houses. You think about it enough, you tell yourself it's possible enough, it becomes real. You speak this stuff into your own reality. Met my wife in this park. This was our first date. We walked our dogs together. The fact that I'm here now is, I don't know. You think about this stuff as a kid, and you're like, it's not possible. What do these rich people do? Right. And they end up landing somewhere that's pretty freaking cool.
Mark's impact has been pretty incredible, and the hard work and dedication to excellence has been truly life-changing and felt by so many others. Just imagine what your own possibilities are.
Being able to be at work with my dad, be able to spend time with my dad, has been one of the coolest things, man. That's actually my old man over here. What's up, old man? You loving life? That's it. This used to be an apartment unit that we grew. We had 10 people in a 2-room office, so we were all just on top of each other. So this room has been a work in progress. We call this the boardroom, and we're actually getting a mural put right underneath here. But you know, I mean, this says it all right here. Like, why be average when you can be a legend?
Terry is still jamming. He's building his empire, has tight relationships with his family, and is living the life of his dreams, activating what he calls legendary status. Isn't that a great life? What is a life worth living anyway? Are you going after your own legendary status? Truth is, if you don't, there is a strong chance that you will be forgotten.
We're not living forever. You know, I don't even think people even know that's a thing. You know, I think they're, you know, I see so many
They
people
get too
walking.
wrapped up.
Yeah, they're wrapped up. I think they literally act like they're living forever. I see so many great people minimizing their dreams and goals and taps, and every time you do that, you lower your standards. Today's the day I hope people realize, like, I'm worth more. Not I'm worth more, I should get more. I'm worth more and I'm willing to work for more. When you do that, it really does unlock the keys to greatness, the keys to another level that you don't even know it exists. Because if you did, you'd already be there. It's like people are very problematic with small stuff. All they do is talk about Mickey Mouse problems. They're talking about Mickey Mouse opportunity, and they wonder why they have Mickey Mouse money in the bank account. It's because you're like, what do you expect is going to happen? I don't want to hear about it. I just get it done, no excuses. And sometimes it seems cold, but you got to be thinking, right? We got to be aggressive, and let's focus on big stuff if we want big results. Yes, you could be out in the deepest of the seas. You could have many sharks around you and whales around you. You could have the best bait, but you came not equipped to catch what you went out to set sail for. Who wants to be a millionaire micromanaging everything too? You have no life. You're stressed out, you don't trust anybody. You know, it's just not fun. And you think the guy making 20 million a year is killing it, dude, he's probably more scared because he knows what he's capable of, and he also knows what he could actually lose. So when you call for help, that's like the biggest flex in the world, calling a guy that's above you, calling for help and say, yo man, I need help. They're not gonna say, ha ha. They're gonna say, absolutely dude, how can I help you? That's our personalities, that's why you're making moves. But for some reason that gets lost at certain levels.
And looking at how Mark's built a legacy, he strongly believes in the value of relationships and bringing others along the ride. He is a dedicated family man, yes. He also greatly values supporting others in building their legacy. And soon, you could be on your way into the DM family as well.
Relationship capital. I'm in the game of life forever. And I'm very crystal clear this is a lifelong game, not a short-term game.
1, 2, 3.
Chapter 6, Legacy versus Forgotten.
The man, the myth, the legend, the scholar, truly a good man. I love you, bro. I appreciate you. You're adding incredible value to the universe. You've changed everybody's lives in here, including mine. Guys, will you please join me in giving a toast to Mr. Mark Evans? Salud. Salud.
You know, my fear is these guys do get left behind. They're listening, but they're not executing. Listening and doing are two different things. I think what's cool about entrepreneurship, it's a long-term game. You know, people playing short-term will always lose this game, you know? And now, cool, you made $5 million, now what? Like, you're looking over your shoulder the rest of your life, you know, for $5 million. These guys, like, dude, how do we go to billions, you know? With the lifestyle intact. I think that's the important key, too, is like lifestyle first and then business second, you know? We can make more money going to a corporate office, sitting in a big building, traveling all across America. I have buddies travel 300 days a year. They have no life. Well, that is their life, right? They're wondering why they have 2 divorces, kids don't talk to them. I mean, it's like, dude, it's obvious. Like, what are you doing? But they can't get out of it because they're not listening. They're addicted to it.
Mark's way of life embraces legacy building. As witnessed by so many of you watching this movie, his life and so many of his mentees are living proof of a bigger, truer legacy.
Picture you're crushing it. Say you have $100 million in the bank, but you go to your big house, no husband or wife, no kids. They don't even know what you do. They don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you because you've literally just done your thing. There is a point in time to be selfish in life for yourself, for your family, but not overly selfish where you abandon your family, you know. And I get it. We all get consumed with stuff, but this is again back to priorities, non-negotiables. My kids come to me, Dad, I need you. I'm in. Period. You know, Daddy, help. I'm in. Like, what do you need? Don't be the guy or gal sitting with a lot of money in the bank when you can't enjoy what you like. Listen, why are you doing all this? I'm doing it all for legacy, family, to grow. Don't fall in love with the money. Fall in love with what the money ultimately you're trying to accomplish, and that's time with your family. You're doing all this for, right?
What matters to you enough that would be worth reinvention? Are you one of those people that thinks you have the time? Are you present to time passing you by?
Mark talks about, building that giving muscle. That's been, to me, the biggest thing that I've learned from it. You know, when I was kind of, talking to, let's say, the boys, my wife's out, talking to the women and, kids and stuff like that. And it was something that was kind of a different perspective because we haven't been to a lot of masterminds outside this one that had kind of what we call a retreat, where you bring your families and you kind of hang out a little bit. And so that was, to me, that's always been a highlight. And I always cherish making sure I can bring my family as much as I can.
I genuinely think people they think they're gonna live forever. I really think they believe that, and the problem is when you realize you're not living forever, it's probably too late.
I've always believed in learning from people that are in a position that you want to be in.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be around people that genuinely want to see me succeed, genuinely want to make my life better, and genuinely are here to help me.
The one thing I always tell people if they're joining any mastermind is it's an investment. Don't look at it like as a cost. If you look at it as a cost, it's you might not last a long time. If you look at it as an investment, it's an investment in yourself, one, but an investment in learning how you can be. It's kind of like the book The Go-Giver, is learning that ability to be giving more of your, sometimes not even money, it's time, but money does go a long way. But time is actually a big thing that still people maybe that don't have money, they still don't give that time. So that's the one thing I've learned. In addition to, I feel like it's, if I'm telling someone else about it, is the benefit with just getting to know a lot more people. It's, again, building that relationship capital.
You're probably thinking, I'm stuck at this dead-end job, Mark. It's, you don't understand, I'm working double shifts for 40 hours a week or 20 hours a week. Again, this journey is not convenient. It's going to be challenging. If you want a hard life, do easy stuff. If you want an easy life, do hard stuff. It's going to put pressure on you. I don't care about your degrees. I care about your hustle. I care about your determination. More importantly, I care about your grit. You're going to stick through things. Create a plan, execute the plan. Use your kids as your fuel, not your excuse. Find what drives you and go to work. We started small town. You saw where my first office was at my mom and dad's house, my bedroom, my office in my dad's garage, to the progression of where we're at today, the treehouse office. If you're sitting there at a taco joint or a burger joint, there's nothing wrong with that. Use that, because at least you have a job. You can take that money and learn about investing. You got to start feeding the brain. If you're even watching this video, you have information that the majority of the world doesn't even invest their time in. So I congratulate you on that, because you can take this information and know that you can do better.
And it's not you deserve it. You only deserve what you work for. You only deserve what you put in. So don't use it like, oh, well, you don't understand, I work really hard, I deserve it. You don't deserve dick. You know what you deserve? A kick in the ass to get to work. Get aggressive. Like, this is your life. You have one shot at it, that's it. No more, no less. And if you don't get after it today, right now, when are you going to?
Thank you for being and witnessing this experience. I hope you have enjoyed a small and brief window into the preview of Mark Evans. And so as you sit back, you gotta ask yourself this: what kind of deals are you making with your life, with your family, with your partner, with your business?
I spent probably $100,000 a year on mentorships and education. Again, I want to learn from somebody who's doing what I want to do, and obviously he was doing that.
Life is a function of the deals that you've made with yourself. And the hope from this movie is that you start making better deals for you, for your family, and for your legacy. You can either choose to be forgotten, or you can be remembered.
Why I like the DM fam and why it's so beneficial is, you know, there's not a one-size-fits-all blueprint, because we all have different businesses, we all have different strengths, we all have different things that we're good at. Mark calls them unique abilities. It's figuring out what does the blueprint for you look like in your life, in your business, and then reverse engineering that. And what's great about it is because you have these, 33 other board of advisors, if you will, they're able to help you reverse engineer that too.
I want more friends. I want more people to know. I want more deals. I want more opportunity. I want more access to money. That's what this is about, to connect with you. And my agenda is simple: to connect. I'm looking to build more relationship capital every single day. The more people I can connect with, the more opportunities I have. Guess what? We can all accomplish more of what we're trying to do. You need money, I might have it. And if I don't have it, I might know someone that has it. You have money, you need opportunity, I might have it, or I might know someone that has it. Like, that's the way this works, And I don't know where I'll meet you. I don't know if it'll be at an event. I don't know if it'll be at the beach club. I don't know if it'll be at a yacht in the middle of the Caribbean. I don't know. But I do know this: when we meet, I want us both to be moving forward. I want us to be growing together. I want us to connect, boom, and make the moves that we know we're capable of. Lives will be changed.
Sometimes you need people to believe, a little bit more than you do from time to time. He's always been that guy for me, so appreciate you, Mark.
What do you love most about your parents?
I would say everything.
I can't tell you what a generous, selfless, not selfish man that he has proven to be. I mean, he just extends his generosity to everyone, especially the family. He's always including us in everything, not ignoring us. It's just overwhelming, really. We're blessed, very blessed. Thank you, Mark and Sam.
Your mother-in-law can back you up like that. I'd say that's a good thing.